Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with acclaimed multi-instrumentalist Karl Denson of Tiny Universe on the 2025 Kansas City Jazz and Blues Festival. We caught up with this decorated artist and lifelong Chiefs fan about his upcoming gig at Legends Field in Kansas City, Kansas, at the home of the Kansas City Monarchs, for the festival going on October 3rd and 4th. Kansas City isn't just another stop on the Jazz and Blues Tour, it's the birthplace of a sound that changed music forever. Karl has spent his esteemed career as a funk and jazz musician known for his saxophone and flute playing, along with vocals. Along with being a leader of the Tiny Universe, he is the co-founder of the Greyboy Allstars and has toured with the Rolling Stones since 2014. We cover his trip to Kansas City and so much more. Dig this interview. I got to tell you, this festival that you're coming to October 3rd through 4th here in Kansas City, it's been a long-running festival that's kicking back up. So it's so great to see such a powerful lineup with you and Tiny Universe. So how did this all come about? How did this festival come about on your radar?
You know, I don't really have any input into that. This is all booking aids. This is all the behind the scenes thing. My job is just to to make sure that we deliver when we get there. So what does it mean to come to Kansas City with the history that we have and to play at a festival here? Well, as a Chiefs fan, it's always a blast to come to Kansas City. And then as a jazz, musician, it's always a blast. This time, my brother and I, when we go to that Eagles game, we both have late flights out the next day. So we're gonna get in on that Monday and get into town and go to the Jazz Hall of Fame and do some sightseeing this time around. Right on. So what's been going on with you lately? How's everything going with projects, with touring? How are you doing? I'm doing great. I had a kind of a slow summer, which was awesome. The Stones canceled. They had a tour kind of in the works, and then they canceled. I'm not exactly sure why, but it gave me June and July off for the most part, which gave me a chance to really dig into my next record, which is an Afrobeat record. And so I am about 90% done with that. And so that's the next thing happening. I'm gonna get that done, and then I got a bunch of stuff in the works. We did a really cool single with kids might be familiar with the band called Frank Moody. Yeah. It's like a dance band from England, and they produced a track for me. And, with the band, we brought the band in the studio, and they came in and produced it. And then Nigel Hall from Lettuce is singing the lead on that one. And it's going to be really cool. So we got a lot of stuff brewing right now. So I should be done with the Afrobeat record in the next month. And then we'll start figuring out, release schedule and all that stuff. So coming into this town, Kansas City, being a cradle of jazz, are there what's going to be your play? What are you looking at for your playlist? Are you tailoring some things specifically to kind of the flavor of Kansas City and our history? How are you going to go about that? No, we've kind of got a kind of a running playlist that we've been going with, for the past few months, and then it depends on what we have time to learn before we get there, because we're always trying to learn new tunes. So I'm expecting we'll have probably a couple of new things to put into the set, but we generally kind of do our normal thing, and we're kind of like the Stones. There's the out of 11 tunes, there's 6 regulars, and then we'll move around 5 of them. So speaking of the Stones, you've been in front of some of the largest crowds on the planet with one of the most electric bands of all time. What does it mean to, be in a town like Kansas City and to perform your music, your style, because people know you in different incarnations? What does that mean to have your flavor and your signature in front of that crowd? I mean, this is my thing, this is what I do. So, the Stones is like, that's their thing, and I'm honored to be a part of it. But this is who I am, so it's just it's nice to be yourself.
For sure. What's your history with Kansas City, with playing here, with being here? What kind of memories do you have?
All good. I haven't played there. It hasn't been like a main hub for my whole career, so I can probably say I've played there. Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe 10 times. So just different venues, different places, and and I've been there a couple of times with the Stones. But it's always, for me, it's always kind of like my wannabe home because of my love of the Chiefs.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you, man, the times in Kansas City, this is a growing town. We're getting the World Cup. The Chiefs are a huge ticket, a huge draw. So you're coming into a lot of excitement, especially in October. So I will make sure to put all of these links in the show notes to get tickets, and travel well. And we look forward to welcoming you and all the wonderful acts to Kansas City for this festival.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in LA, New York City, Kansas City, and spots all over the globe, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Karl for swinging on by the show. If you want to hear more Neon Jazz interviews, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us at YouTube, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends. Fans, Joe Domino of Neon Jazz here, proud to let you know about the triumphant return of the Kansas City Blues and Jazz Festival to Legends Field at the home of the KC Monarchs, with a stellar lineup. Grammy-winning Stanley Clarke, Karl Denson's Tiny Universe, jazz master Bill Frisell, and KC luminaries Jackie Myers and Brody Buster. Tickets and more for this electrifying two-day event is found at monarchsbaseball.com, then click on special events. This October 3rd and 4th, join us as we bring magic and music back to Kansas City.